Planning a trip to Portugal can be overwhelming. Every travel guide gives you a huge list of 100 different things to do. But what if you only had time for the absolute best? The experiences you will remember for the rest of your life. We've spent months exploring this incredible country to create the ultimate checklist. So if you're ready for an adventure, here are the top things you absolutely must do in Portugal.
And don't worry, we won't forget the food. The best part of visiting Portugal is enjoying its food and wine.
So let's get started. Our first stop takes you to Sintra, one of the most beautiful towns in Portugal, with many things to see and do. Located just 30 minutes from Lisbon, this is a popular day trip, but we suggest spending at least 2 days. And the first place you should go is Peña Palace. It's a beautiful fairy tale castle that is one of Portugal's 7 wonders. It was commissioned in the 19th century by King Ferdinand, and it's a mixture of Moorish, Gothic, and Maulan designs. It is so eclectic with different vibrant colors of yellow, blue, orange, and red. When you do go, make sure you book a timed entry and make that entry very first thing in the morning to beat the crowd so you have it all to yourself. Then after you've seen it, spend the day exploring the grounds and seeing all of the different vantage points of the castle.
Another one of our favorite places in all of Portugal was to visit Quinta da Regalira. The estate itself is beautiful, but the real attraction is the initiation well. And as you walk down, it's pretty amazing to take in how it would have felt back then to walk down that circular cavern all the way to the bottom. And don't forget, when you get to the bottom, you continue to walk through caves. There's a small little waterfall, and you come out, and after that, you can explore the rest of the grounds. Next on the list is Belém Tower, another one of the 7 wonders of Portugal. Making our way to Lisbon, the capital city of Portugal, you can spend 3 days here and barely scratch the surface of all the things to do. But when you do visit, don't miss Belém Tower. Located on the Tagus River, this beautiful 16th century fort is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that was built to guard the entrance of Lisbon along the river. Now you could admire it from the outside, and if you get a chance, go inside to get views over the Tagus River. Also, make sure to book your timed entry in advance and go either early in the morning or later in the afternoon when the crowds are at their least.
Next on our list is Jerónimos Monastery, another of the 7 wonders of Portugal, and it's just a short walk from Belém Tower. This UNESCO World Heritage Site was built in the 16th century and took more than 100 years to build. It was built in honor of Saint Jerome, who is the patron saint of scholars and navigators. Portugal was a huge country for navigation, and this also pays homage to Vasco da Gama, who was one of the great explorers of Portugal.
Porto is the 2nd largest city in Portugal and one of the top places to visit when searching for the best things to do in Portugal. And one of the first things you notice is the Dom Luís I Bridge. This bridge is a huge double-decker metal arch bridge that dominates the Porto waterfront. This massive bridge spans over the Douro River, connecting Porto with Gaia. At 172 meters in length, it is one of the longest iron arch bridges in the world. It was designed by a student of Gustav Eiffel, and you can really see the inspiration and similarities from the Eiffel Tower. You can walk along both the top and the bottom of the bridge, and at night it is lit up for all to see. São Bento railway station is often considered one of the most beautiful railway stations in the world. Located in the heart of the UNESCO World Heritage City, it is one of the most popular places to visit in Porto. Tours go inside regularly to view the 22,000 tiles covering its walls. Known as azulejo, these tiles can be seen throughout Portugal. They're not only used for decoration, but for insulation to keep buildings cool in the summer and holding the heat in the winter. The tiles themselves in São Bento Station represent important events throughout Portuguese history.
you have to cruise the Douro River. We took a couple of Douro River cruises in Portugal, and you must get on the water if you are in the region. The Douro River is one of the oldest trading routes in the entire world, with settlements dating back to the 8th century BC. You can book longer trips from a few days to a week. We took the Avalon Alegria from Porto into the Douro Valley. It's a unique way to see the communities from a different view. And we went through locks and bridges, including the highest lock in all of Europe. Some of the communities are also located along the Camino de Compostela.
The Douro Valley is famous for its vineyards and wine producing, but it's the beauty that makes it really stand out from other wine regions. The vineyards are located along steep hills lining the river, and one of the best ways to see it is to go for a walk through one of its many vineyards. A visit to a winery will take you back in time as you walk through ancient vines and wineries that have been passed down from family to family for generations.
You'll notice a bit of a theme in our recommendations because we love going on the water, and a speedboat through the Algarve is nothing short of a great adventure on the water. The coast of the Algarve is one of the most striking coastlines on Earth, and to truly appreciate its beauty, you have to see these sea cliffs from a boat. We took a 2-hour speedboat tour from Portimão, which is located between the two major towns of the Algarve, which are Lagos and Cavaleiro. You leave from this freshwater river that takes you through cities, and then you go along the rugged coast of the Atlantic Ocean. It has endless high rock formations, towers, sea caves for as far as the eye can see. I have never seen so many rock locations in one place, and you can do it all in an afternoon.
Ponta da Piedade is the best place on Portugal's mainland to watch the sunset. Set on a remote headland just outside of Lagos in the Algarve, there are walking paths high on the cliffs overlooking the sea. There are stairs that head down to deep coves lined with fishing boats. You can explore this by boat or by foot, and we highly recommend hiking. You can park in the free parking lot or take a taxi or Uber.
Located in Lagos, Praia dos Estudantes just might be the most photographed beach in Portugal. This is that famous beach that has that stone bridge on top of a high cliff that connects a large rock formation to the mainland. To get there, you walk through several beaches that have tunnels that connect them all. There's sea arches, and all of these are man-made. And that's because these beaches were part of the Fort of Lagos. Now, this fort is no longer used, but the bridges and tunnels remain, making for a really unique experience and easy access for the public to navigate along all of the different beaches that are on the coast.
Praia da Marina is a small beach, but it is the sea cliffs surrounding it that have made it so impressive. They reach up to 50 meters or 150 feet in height. And there are arches, natural wells, and rock formations surrounding the beach, and you can see it from above while hiking the Seven Valleys hike. Or you can walk down to the beach to enjoy the soft sand and shade from its formations. It's the perfect spot for snorkeling in Portugal, as the water is really calm.
When you come to Portugal, one of the things you must do is go to see a fado show. It is the national music of Portugal, and it is so important that it is a UNESCO-designated art form. Now, fado you can see in Lisbon and Porto and Coimbra, but it is actually nationwide. And the best thing to do is go and see it in a wine cellar in Porto or go to the Alfama district in Lisbon.
The reason we have Guimarães Castle on our list is that you must visit the birthplace of Portugal. Yes, you heard me right, it's where Portugal was born. It's extremely well preserved. It was built in the 10th century to defend against Moors and Norsemen. It was also the birthplace of the first king of Portugal. Now you can wander the halls and take in all the history of this UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's something you don't want to miss here in Portugal.
Aveiro is often touted as the Venice of Portugal, and for good reason. It has these incredible gondolas that are all painted and colorful and are called moleiros. Now, tourists can go and take a ride on the canals here and learn about the history of Aveiro. Aveiro is located just about 40 minutes outside of Porto, and this was a famous fishing town and popular for tiles and for salt. And the boats were used actually to transport the salt production. While you are visiting Aveiro, you want to go and visit Costa Nova as well. These are those famous houses that are painted in colorful stripes in Portugal. Portugal was made on fishing. It is a country that was built on the sea, and many men went out to fish and were often lost at sea. So the women, they painted the houses colorful to try and keep the spirit uplifted, and that's how it was born. Today, they're colored in blues and greens and yellows, and it's just absolutely beautiful. When you go to the fishing villages all around Portugal, you will see these famous houses. And when you are in Aveiro, you want to eat ovos moles, which is their answer to pastel de nata. They're famous pastries that are stuffed with egg yolks and sugar, and they come in shapes of the sea. Portugal is famous for its port wines, and when you come to Porto or the Douro Valley, or really anywhere, you have to try it. Port wine is a fortified sweet wine that is synonymous for the wines of this area. If you come to the Gaia region in Porto, all of the wine cellars are along the river here. The wine is produced in the Douro Valley, but all of the cellars are here where it is blended and aged. And then you can go into all of the port wine cellars and do some tasting, buy their wines. It's really an incredible experience. Another unique spirit here in Portugal is Vinho Verde. It's a green wine. Now, a lot of people think that the wine is green, but is actually a young wine. You know, when you call somebody green, when they haven't matured yet, that's exactly what the wine is. Vinho Verde is a wine that they purposely do not age for long. It's usually a white wine or a rosé, but they do have red wines in Vinho Verde as well. And usually they are sparkling. When you go up to the north of Portugal, that's where you can tour all of the Vinho Verde vineyards. And a lot of them have a bed and breakfast, and you can stay over and walk through the vineyards, and everybody is so hospitable.
The Portuguese are passionate about their food, and for a small country, it has a lot of Michelin-rated restaurants, with nearly 40 awarded that coveted star. We ate at A Cozinha in Guimarães, and we were amazed at how large the portions were for a Michelin star restaurant. We usually leave hungry, but this was one of the most satisfying and delicious meals we've ever had. Trust us, you'll want to splurge once on a Michelin experience, and Portugal is the way to do it. One thing's for sure, we ate a lot of cod in Portugal. Actually, there are 1,001 ways apparently to cook cod. They fry it, they bake it, but in the case of bacalhau, they actually make it into cod cakes. So there's stores all around, especially in Porto, we got to sample it quite a bit, that are actually these very beautiful stores where they sell cod cakes and you can have some wine or port with it. Bacalhau can also be done, just the fish itself, nicely baked. That's at least 2 ways to eat cod here in Portugal. Portugal's most famous treat is Pastel de Nata. And if you're in Lisbon, you have to check out Pastel de Belém, which is the place that houses the original Pastel de Nata. It was actually made from a recipe that was passed on to the nuns and monks from the monastery of Belém. And the nuns there, interestingly enough, used to use the egg whites to iron their habits and keep them very starched and stiff. But they didn't know what to do with the yolks afterwards. So what they decided to do is combine them with sugar and put them in a pastry to make pastel de nata. Now you can get them all over the country here in Portugal. So wherever you are in Portugal, make sure to give it a try and be your own judge.
We've also met some amazing people along the way. Their warmth and hospitality have made this trip even more memorable. It's these experiences and connections that truly highlight the beauty of traveling.
Now it's your turn. What are your top picks? Do you have any hidden gems or personal favorites?
Share your stories, tips, or questions in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, make sure to like and subscribe for more adventures. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao for now.